Hello, this is Piero Giorgio, author of Survive the Economic Collapse. If you want to understand the world, and of course, if you want to survive whatever is coming in the future, you need to understand how things work. This is one book that is a must read if you live in the United States or if you want to understand how the United States works today. Cuckservative: How Conservatives Betrayed America by John Red Eagle and Vox Day. Excellent book, not too expensive, easy to read, not too thick. A must read because it explains how, basically, and it's the same process in Europe, how the right, the conservatives, have become just as leftist as the leftists, as the liberals, as you call in the United States. Cuckservative is a very interesting and funny name to label those conservatives who are basically playing the game of the left and betray, of course, their country, but also betray mankind and betray all of human civilization and societies. In this book, I'm not going to tell you everything because it's really very interesting. This book really tells you the story on how the conservative movement, including the evangelical and Christian right, has been completely turned over to become weak and having the same incredibly failing messages that the left has. Messages that are destroying, of course, everything that makes civilization. The cultural and, let's say, racial homogeneity, the cultural, more importantly, structures and the morals that make a country strong and instead of weak. And this book really tells you little by little how the main elements that makes a society strong are being destroyed by leftist ideas, which of course many conservatives embraced because they thought that this was the only way to get some posturing, to get perhaps some political clout and power, or even to stay within what societies wants, or at least so they think. Of course, society doesn't want, and most people don't want these ideas. Certainly not people around the poor countries in the world that try to move to Europe and the United States. These people don't want progressive ideas. These people are extremely conservative, extremely traditional, and they only use liberalism and open borders and the left to get into countries which are rich so that they will be able to, at best, work in them and make money so that they can send money back to their own countries. At worst, plunder them, and eventually overcome and destroy the culture of Europe and the United States and make it like in the countries they come from, which is not super pretty nor super bright. But such is the phenomenon. So if we want to avoid civil war, if we want to avoid a change of society that will bring inevitable collapse, we have to prevent this, of course. But to prevent it, we need to understand how the right is playing the game of the left, the same game, and with the same consequences, whether they understand it or not, whether it's a tough choice for them or not. So this book is a must-read if you are a conservative, so that you don't fall into the pitfalls of this cuckservative approach. This book is a must-read if you're a real conservative, so that you also understand how you can convince others to come back to the right path, which is the path of common sense, the path of realism, the path of reality. And this is a fantastic book. So this book explains you, I think, in a very succinct way and a very efficient way, why economics always fail when you bring multiculturalism and immigration, why immigration always brings war and conflict, and basically it explains you how in the last 50 years immigration has been a huge failure and a disaster in terms of humans, in terms of economies, for both the host countries as well as the immigrants themselves. And this is really the book that describes and summarizes these problems for you. So if you're an English reader, and I know a lot of you French people who watch me are English speakers, this is a book to read, a really, really good book that I encourage you. So Cuckservative, How Conservatives Betrayed America by John Red Eagle and Vox Day. You can find it on Castalia House website or on Amazon. And it's really a must read, and I encourage you to do so that you can prepare yourselves.